What do you think of Sharon Street's claim that these commitments might be just evolutionary artifacts, deeply felt but epistemically baseless?
I think it takes some work to understand or to see what the strongest version of the challenge is. And then I think there's something we can say in order to respond. So the strongest version of a challenge is really the claim that robust realists like myself are committed to, say, an unexplained, perhaps unexplainable miracle. Okay. So here's how it goes. Again, it's not exactly Street's version, but it's very close. If I'm correct, then the normative facts are all the way out there, as it were, in Plato's heaven. They don't depend on us in any way. So they don't depend on us constitutively, right? It's not as if our attitudes make it the case that normative facts are so and so. And they don't depend on us causally either. But also, our attitudes don't causally depend on them, because if I'm right, the normative facts are abstract. They are not in space-time. They don't have causal powers. They're non-natural. They're not the kind of stuff that's studied by the natural sciences. Now we can ask, well, what are the relations between our normative beliefs and the normative facts? Or here's one thing that you want to say. You don't want to say that there's no correlation at all. If there's no correlation at all between your beliefs and the normative fact, then you need to now reject those beliefs. Suppose you have 100 beliefs, a list of 100 beliefs you have. Maybe you even have some initial justification for them. Let's call them B1 through B100, right? And suppose then God whispers in your ear that actually the number of beliefs between B1 and B100 that are true is 50. But God does not mention which ones. What should your attitude be towards B14? Well, it seems to me you should suspend judgment. You've just received extremely strong evidence that indicates that half of the relevant beliefs are true and half false. Suppose that you don't, there's nothing to, it's not as if B14 is one you are much more confident in than B15, right? You're roughly equally confident in all of them. They're all on a par, and you know that 50% of them are false. You should suspend judgment, right? So if there's no correlation at all between your normative beliefs and the normative facts, you should now suspend judgment. You're deteriorating into normative skepticism. You should suspend judgment about all your normative beliefs. That's going to be painful, right? So in order to avoid this, let's assume that there is some correlation between the normative facts and your normative beliefs. Maybe it doesn't have to be extremely strong. We can talk about it. But there has to be some correlation, or you're in deep trouble. If there is this correlation, now we can ask, well, what explains this correlation? You have these normative facts out there. You have on the other side your normative beliefs. What explains the correlation between them? It's a striking fact that some other metaethical views have simple answers to this, right?